the roll-ups are becoming really, really rampant in AEW. I feel like every show we have at least 2, and every week we have at least 5, if not more. And it's getting to be a bit of a problem to me. Now, I know AEW has made a commitment to not doing non-finishes. So they don't want to do disqualifications. They don't want to do countouts. They don't want to do stuff like that. And I understand people like to see a finish. But to me personally, the excessive use of the roll-up is just as bad as the use of a non-finish. Tell me, Pacific, where do you stand on this? Be honest. I want to know, where do you stand on this? Do you think that they should continue to not do non-finishes and, work the roll-up as an alternative? Or do you think that maybe it's time to say, you know what? Let's incorporate some non-finishes.
It's time to start doing some non-finishes. I mean, if I'm gonna look at roll up after roll up, I might as well get a fruit roll up.
Damn it, I was drinking water, you beat me to it. I knew I should have not taken a sip of water just then, but my voice was getting so dry, my throat was hurting, and I had it in my mind. I saw the fruit by the foot in my mind, and I was like, you know what? As soon as I finish this sip, I'm gonna make a fruit roll-up joke, and there you go. You stole my one thing of joy that I had today. Are you pleased with yourself?
I thought we were a tag team.
You are a thief of joy, sir.
We're a tag team. We know each other too well.
I would say so. Yeah, it's just becoming so repetitive. And here's the deal. It would be different if the roll up was this. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but what I'm trying to say is the disappointment that comes with a non-finish of the DQ. I would rather see that than the roll up if it's going to be used so often, like especially with heels. Like the disqualification finish is part of what helps get a heel as a heel, like like they get out of the match. Like it's like they use that as a way to get themselves out of a sticky situation and keep moving forward. They take the loss and they move on. But they don't get pinned. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make them look bad. It's a way for them to lose without looking bad. And to be honest with you, I think that to have a heel lose via a roll-up makes them look worse than having them lose via disqualification.
It does make them look weak. I mean, if they can't kick out of a roll-up and then find some way to cheat their way to a victory, then what's the point?
Yeah, and the fact is that when you do the roll-ups so often as they're doing, it's like to the point of, does anybody on this roster know how to kick out of a roll-up? Like, is that just the secret to victory in AEW? Because it seems to me like nobody in AEW knows how to kick out of a roll-up. So if I'm a wrestler in AEW, I just start rolling everybody up, from a kayfabe perspective. It's just become too much. Now, I want to be clear. There are some roll-up finishes that are either out of their hands, i.e. Archer versus Kingston. So that probably wasn't going to end in a roll-up originally, but they had to for obvious reasons. But here's the deal. That's an excuse, but it's not an excuse. Because if you weren't already putting yourself in the situation to begin with, it wouldn't be contributing to a problem because the problem wouldn't be there. That's one of the reasons why you need to stop doing this so much. Because then when it comes up that you actually need to do it, it's redundant, it's repetitive, and it's like, crap, we already have 2 other roll-ups finished for the show. Now we're going to have 3. You put yourself in a situation. And I just think that they might need to slow down on the roll-ups. I get it. I understand that they come from a good intention. But especially somebody like Dr. Britt Baker, like Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, these are people that I could easily see their characters disqualifying themselves to get out of a match, to get out of a loss, to get out of getting hurt.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
I mean, I could see Britt Baker doing it to hold on to the championship at any means necessary.
Exactly. Or especially if you had a future match between her and Abaddon. That would be something where she says, you know what? I don't want to wrestle you. I don't want to be anywhere near you. So I'm going to get myself disqualified so that I don't have to continue fighting with you. I'm done. And then that opens up the opportunity to set up matches like the trick or treat match that they had, because it's like
Hmm.
you have Tony Khan or an authority figure come out and say, "Okay, Britt, you want to use weapons? You think you're going to avoid this match by using weapons? Tell you what, next week, or at the pay-per-view, you're going to fight her again, but this time there's going to be no disqualifications." It's is it tried and true? Yeah, absolutely, but it works. There's a reason it gets used all the time, because it works. The roll up, it's cheap. I don't like it. It's just a cheap finish. It's cheaper than the non-finishes in my opinion, because it doesn't make them look super weak, no. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, they beat them. They pinned them. 1, 2, 3. Why should they get another match? They already pinned them. They couldn't kick out of a roll up. What makes me think that they're going to kick
No,
out of a finish?
they're not. At
No.
this point, us as fans were being groomed to pretty much expect the fact that anytime anybody gets into a roll up, the match is automatically over.
Yeah. And it's just it's it's almost more, it's definitely equally anticlimactic, if not more anticlimactic than the disqualification finish. I think I would definitely say it's equally. More might be an overstatement, but equally anticlimactic, I would say so for me personally. And again, it does nothing for the character. At least with the DQ, it's part of the character. The roll up is just cheap. It's it's a cheap exit. Not for the wrestler, for the booking, to me personally. But
No, no, I agree with you.
well, either way, at least it's something, either one that they use, it's a way to end the match without really ending the match. If you have a match like Hobbs versus Cassidy, where you want Cassidy to move forward but you don't want Hobbs to look weak, that's where you use one of those. So there I'm not saying that there's never a use for a roll up. Like, for example, I agree with the Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb roll up. that
Hmm.
that was appropriate. You don't want to see Sheeta beat her like solidly, but you also don't want to see Deeb win again, because then there's no rubber match. There's no real need for a third match. Well, she already lost twice. Why do I want to see the third time? So to prove that I'm not biased, I think that was an excellent use of a roll up. And had they not overused it already, there would be no discussion.